أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. The best words are the words of Allah Almighty. The best exemplar is the example of Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us that when the call is made on Friday, we should leave off our trade, we should leave off our business, and that we should hasten to the remembrance of Allah, for indeed that is best for us if only we knew. We thank Allah Almighty for having favored us by allowing us to be present at the masjid at this time for the only purpose of obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow our obedience to be of benefit to us in this life, but more so when it matters, when we stand before Him for final judgment. How swiftly has this year passed since we, by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have made a great milestone in the history of our community by having someone come as a Hafiz of Quran to recite the whole Quran in this month of Ramadan. The month is already upon us. We have a few days ticking away that we'll be looking for the new moon, and we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could give us the opportunity to repeat that performance that we did last time, but more so make it better than it was last year. Many of us as Muslims have difficulty in fully coming to terms with the importance of this month of Ramadan in our lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set aside 1 month per year for the benefit of the people, of the Ummah. He has set aside this as fixed. The 9th month of the Islamic calendar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put it aside, and it's something that is a fard, it's one of the pillars of this deen. It's a pillar of this deen that we should fast in the month of Ramadan. Fasting in the month of Ramadan is nothing that we should take lightly, because it is one of the things that would stand for us when we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a pleader. It will plead for us, in front of Allah Almighty. And the Quran is also an intercessor for us when we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for judgment. So the Quran is an intercessor before Allah for the reciter of this kitab. So we should spend as much time as possible becoming familiar with the Quran, becoming intimate with the Quran, because that is the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put there for our guidance. The purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed this Quran for is to guide us to the straight path. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Quran as huda, guidance to the straight path. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So as Muslims, we need to understand how critical it is in our lives to pay attention to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in His Quran. So Ramadan is the month in which this Quran was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent this Ramadan, every Ramadan, reciting the Quran with Jibreel alayhi salam. And it is important for us to spend time also reflecting on the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His book. Fasting in the month of Ramadan has been prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as medication for the ummah, to heal us. The purpose of the Quran, the revelation is to be a healer for mankind. And Ramadan, the fasting in the month of Ramadan also acts as an opportunity for us to heal. Because fasting is designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to curb our desires, our nafs. And the fasting is the structure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us as a community, something to use as a tool every year. But more than that, it is required that we should spend time during the year, sometimes Mondays, Thursdays, sometimes the 3 white nights, whatever, to become accustomed, training ourselves. So the fasting is about training us to rein in our desires. So we have been ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to abstain from food, drink, sexual relationship during the hours that were prescribed. But that is not all. When someone is fasting, it is required that our tongue should also be fasting, so we should not be involved in gossip, slander, backbiting, lying, deceit. So all that is the training in the fast. Allah has no need for us to abstain from food and drink if we do not abstain from prohibited actions, from the tongue or from the limbs. So it is required for us, as when we fast, Allah has instructed us over and over in the Quran to lower your gaze, to bring about that control, so that when you see something, you restrain yourself by lowering your gaze, not following up. The opponent said to the effect, the first glance is for you and the second one is against you. So if you glance and you see something, restrain yourself. That is the training that fasting has, that is the tool that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us for fasting, so our life starts to reflect that behavior. So the tongue needs to be fasting, the ears need to be fasting, the eyes need to be fasting, the limbs need to be fasting, by staying away from the prohibited actions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to stay away from. So many of us, we need to come to terms with the depth of this command of fasting in the month of Ramadan, and fasting in general. It entails us having to restrain our desires, and that is what will bring us to a level of purification that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow us to climb in the spiritual ladder from stage to stage, because that is the reality. Human beings have to grow from one stage to the other stage, and that depends on how we behave. It's about our conduct, it's about training our behavior, our character. That is what this deen is about. So it is important for us to understand that. It has to kick in. That this deen is not just ceremonial. It's not just, we establish the salah, we come and we go through the rakats. We fast in the month of Ramadan, but our conduct doesn't reflect one who's fasting. All that we get is hunger and thirst at the end of the fast. If we do not give the fast its due, at the end of the Ramadan, all we get is hunger and thirst. Just as some people would get up and stand up and pray in the night, and all they get from standing up and praying in the night is sleeplessness. We must change our behavior to reflect what we see. Why say that which you do not do Allah said it is odious, it is grievously odious that we should say that we do not do. So it is important for us to understand that reality. We should ask ourselves a question going into this month of Ramadan. Am I going into Ramadan seeking Allah's forgiveness when I do not want to forgive my brother and sister? I have to ask myself that question, and all of us need to ask ourselves that question. We're going into the month of Ramadan asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, and we do not want to forgive one another. We still continue to carry grudges, bearing grudges for year go, year come. And at the end of the day, we go into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking for forgiveness, but we do not want to forgive others. So where is the justice? We go into Allah for forgiveness, but we of ourselves do not want to forgive. So we need to ask ourselves that question before we go into the first day of Ramadan. Am I going to this month of Ramadan going to ask Allah for forgiveness, and then I don't want to forgive my brother or my sister because of some issue that has happened way back, sometime years gone, and we're still holding on to memories and behaving, in that way, unforgiving, merciless. So it is important for us to ask that question and address that question. Aisha radiallahu anha asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if she should meet this night of power, Laylatul Qadr, what should she say? What prayer she should make? What prayer she should make? What prayer should I make? Allahumma inni, what it is? We get exactly what the translation is, so it will be correct. The correct words. Allahumma inni afuwanni. Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Says, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive because He's the most forgiving and He loves to forgive. So you're begging Him to forgive you. So Aisha, the Prophet advised Aisha, you see, if you should get the night of power, deal with, recite this dua. Asking Allah to forgive because He loves to forgive. And the attribute is Al-Afu. The powerful attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cleanser. He loves to forgive. So we're making this dua on the night of Laylatul Qadr, or any night in the month of Ramadan, asking Allah for forgiveness, and yet we don't want to forgive others. Can't work. We cannot grow. We cannot benefit by that conduct. The Jamaat has been going through many challenges over the last year. But Alhamdulillah, we are able to we are on a growth path by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot has happened. A lot of good things has happened. At this point in time, we are at the threshold of trying to establish the Hifz program in our madrasa. So we'll be training our own Hufaz, inshallah, by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is another landmark that we need to reach for the children among us and those young people who still have good memory and who have ambition, could still make effort and learn to become Hufaz. It's so important for us to establish that. Because right now we have to be borrowing Hufaz from all over the country to lead it Arabic. We have to be begging and asking people, come and facilitate us. We need to help, we need to change that by producing our own. So inshallah, they could come and ask us for Hafiz to come and lead prayer. Inshallah. That is the ambition. And by the mercy of Allah, we are on the threshold of this achievement. We continue to struggle to try to establish, the community at this point. And we need, at this point, for the brothers to start to take responsibility in the community. Last year, barring a few brothers, the sisters carried the whole Ramadan, carry everything, the cooking, the cleaning up, the preparation, everything they handle. Everything they handle. And the brothers in mass are very, they just come in, just chilling out. We had to change that this year. So we asking brothers to understand the importance of this khidmat, this service to one another, and make an effort to sign up with the office as a volunteer to serve on a rotational basis in the month of Ramadan. To help the sisters in the pots and the heavy pots and to prepare the meals and whatever else. Because many of the Jamaats already have the men as the main pillars of the work. On the other hand, we have it reversed here. We need to change that. So the office, Sister Gail will be taking the names of people who understand the importance of service, who understand what it means, the barakat that will come to them in their lives as a result of serving each other, especially in the month of Ramadan. If we contribute to feeding a fasting person, contribute, whether we feed them with one date or give them some water, or whether we help to the process, barakat will come to us. But we need to make effort. We can't be lazy and we can't be indifferent and hope to have changes. The sisters have been basically the engine room in the community, driving the community forward. Men are the maintainers and protectors of the women, but we're making the women the maintainers and protectors of us. That can't work. We have it reversed. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to overcome that weakness, and may He give us the barakat in this month of Ramadan to make that effort to grow and to go forward. So we're talking about the fasting and what is required in the fasting. We talked already about not only the abstinence from food and drink and sexual relationship with our spouses, but the limbs of the body must also be fasting. And one of the things that we need to do consistently in the month of Ramadan is to keep in a state of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best way to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month is reciting the Quran. The best way to spend time with the Quran and read, because the practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to spend time with the Quran in this month of Ramadan. In order for us to realize our objectives, we must have workers, we must have people who prepare to serve and bring this thing to fruition. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs to do their part. The people who went before us, who have passed on, did their part. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity to do our part. And then when Allah takes us, somebody else will have to do their part. But it's something that continues, it's an ongoing process. I always like to use the analogy of a relay. Everybody run their leg, but at the end of the race, and when we win that race, everybody get a medal. Everybody benefit. So the same principle. Every generation will play their part in carrying the deen forward. The Muslim Ummah right now is very, very divided, and Trinidad is no different. Very, very divided. We enter a meeting, I think it was Thursday sometime earlier this week, I think we went to Wednesday, I think. And the state officials sent a message to the Muslim community stating, saying, we had 4 meetings in the Muslim community, all the different groups. All you are the most divided set of people that we have. Go and get all your act together. No Muslims telling the Muslims, we had 4 meetings with you all over the years. And every time all you leave, you're convinced that all you are the most divided set of people. Divided. Go and get all your act together. That is a real diss for the Muslim community. Whereas we're supposed to be the example of unity. This brotherhood of yours is a single brotherhood. This brotherhood of yours is a single brotherhood. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us to unite. But the unbelievers now pointing out to us the weaknesses in our structure. So as a result, they have no respect for us. They have no respect. Deservedly so. We deserve no respect because we come in as a divided force and we leave in more divided. So the Muslims need to make a stand. Muslims need to make a stand. Not who call themselves Muslims, because plenty of people call themselves Muslims. But the Muslims need to make a stand and say, enough of that. Let me make some effort to reach out to each other. We made this call before, but probably the timing wasn't right, but we're making it again. It is time to establish some sort of a relationship with the different groups in this country, the major Muslim groups. Whether they call it a council of Imams, whether they call it what. Where we can have a platform to sit and decide our affairs, make decisions that would benefit the brotherhood in general. Because Allah has instructed us. He is our Lord and cherisher, that we should be one. So the Jamaat is prepared to stretch out its hand to make this that bridge, to establish relationships with the different Muslim groups for the benefit of the Ummah. And anytime we don't make those moves, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not be pleased with us because we will be disobeying Him directly. We'll be disobeying Him directly. For He has told us to unite, and on the contrary, we divided. We don't need to go into the details, but the structure, was already started to be hammered out where we could have this in place. So we on board. We on board with respect to establishing relationships with our brothers and sisters all over the nation, Caribbean, and by and large the whole world. But we must start close around us first. And when we do realize within Jamaah, we need to establish that understanding that this brotherhood of yours is a single brotherhood. So we might be prepared to stretch out our hands, but we need to ensure that we understand the importance of unity. strive as in a race towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to make that effort. So this Ramadan, we hope that the closeness of the brotherhood in the community first and in the nation at large could start to be realized, so that these people, when we go to our next meeting, if that ever happens, they would not have the same thing to say about us. Go and get your act together. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase us in understanding, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for whatever we might have said in error. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barakatuh. We only have a few days left to begin fasting. So many of the people who might be fasting for the first time, it might be instructive at this point to give some guidelines with respect to how the fasting goes. Fasting must have intention. You must have niyat that you're going to fast for the month of Ramadan. You could make niyat, before the fast in the morning, or you can make it after Maghrib, whenever time. Different schools might say different things, but intention must be done before you embark on the fasting. First thing, Prophet peace be upon him advised us to break the fast as soon as Maghrib comes in. Don't delay the breaking of the fast, and delay the morning meal as long as possible. That is some of the adab within the fasting. We spoke just now about people need to keep in focus. Your mindset should be, I am fasting. So if somebody get you angry, you tell them, I am fasting. You don't just fly off your handle and react. Because sometimes when we fasting, we have a short fuse. And it's important that we need to know that the test will come. Sometimes somebody choking you, provoking you. I am fasting. So you don't want them to come and derail your fast by you becoming angry. Simple things like these are important for us to understand and practice, because this is the reality that we'll face every day as we go outside. The whole community would like to, continue to do our iftar every day, the common breaking of the fast for all who fast and who would like to come and share a meal. We know many people. We have a board, we have the notice up. We have the board with the names and the different spaces for different names and so on. So we could take a walk out there and we could take a look, and if we're in a position to prepare a meal or we could join up with different people and provide a meal, great reward. The community is trying to see if we could get some resources, so all who mightn't be able to come to do the full thing, they may be able to supplement them and say, well, here going on, we have this, we have that, we could provide that for you, could provide that for you, and so on. But the whole exercise is towards having this camaraderie in terms of the breaking of the fast and having that relationship. But that is what, eating together is one of the ways that we'll build brotherhood in Islam. Sharing meals and spending time together and making collective du'as and asking Allah. At the time of Maghrib, everybody make the du'a and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to, the time when du'as will be accepted. Make du'a for yourself, your family, the community, and all these different things. So all these things need to be come as part of our practice, especially for those who are new, who might not understand, what is required, to bring about a successful fast. So as we go forward, we'll continue to, provide information, and we would like we are hoping, and Allah knows best, to have someone resident here during the month, some scholar resident here, so that we could have access to them during the day. So we don't know how that works out yet, but there's one of the things we hope, because as a community, we understand the importance of knowledge and the fact that we must respect, the learned among us, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, given that gift to memorize the whole Quran and to learn, certain laws that we might know and so on, so that we be guided accordingly. So it is important that we understand the value of scholarship, appreciate it, and try our best to develop ourselves. Because the one learned Muslim is harder on the shaitan than 1,000 ignorant worshippers. So if we are jahil people, we don't know the deen, and we just whole day we making rakats, shaitan will continue to play with us. He continue to play with us. That's how the shaitan used to be playing with Pharaoh. The same way he'll play with us on a different level. Shaitan is a trickster. And Pharaoh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitated Pharaoh that he used to go to the toilet once every 40 days. Once every 40 days, Pharaoh used to go to the toilet. And one day he was in his throne, his toilet, sitting over his throne in the toilet. And he heard a voice calling him. He said, "Who invaded my space?" He said, "I'm the shaitan. I'm the shaitan." He said, "What? I mean, who are you?" He said, "I'm the shaitan. I come to advise you. I hear you saying something. You say you are the Lord Most High. You have no fear for Allah. You have no respect for Allah." But Shaitan Pharaoh take the admonition, and he was about to go over the balcony to make an announcement that he changed his position as being the Lord Most High. Pharaoh said, "What are you going to do? You're going to tell the people let keep that a secret between two of us. Let keep it a secret between us. What I tell you here. Because if you tell them that, you have chaos outside. Chaos. The whole thing going to mash up." And Shaitan just play with his head, and keep him right there until destruction take him under the sea. Under the sea. So we need to learn our deen so that we will not become victims of the shaitan. So the shaitan will be playing with us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to elevate us, and may He grow us in strength, grow the community from strength to strength. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح المغلق والخاتم لما سبق نسأل الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراط المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون سلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقيموا الصلاة.